Yeah. What is up, SMT Nation? Yeah. Beat is just nasty. Just turn down the music just a bit. What do you guys like better, the old music or this music? I don't know, should I keep the new stuff that I just got? Courtesy of chosenbeats.club. The homie Tana So Lit. I don't know, I kind of like this track better, personally, so. Alright, so what do we got here? Yeah, I know, I like this song too, Kathy. The track's hot. Straight fire. Yeah. Alright, so what do I got for you all today before we begin the show? It's always good to tell you what's, coming down the pike here. Alright, so the stories that we'll take a look at today, topics on the podcast. Well, first, I'd like to give a big shout out to a few people. 90 of them. Big shout out to the patrons over on the Patreon page. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for supporting the SMT. Also, I'd like to give a big shout out to Noel for his recent PayPal donation. And also Henry P, for your generous and kind donation as well. You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting the SMT. Everybody who's been giving donations in the form of PayPal, Venmo, however you've done it, super chats, you guys are the best. Thank you. All right, so we have the August 28th edition of the podcast. 9:07 p.m. It's about time we start, isn't it? Absolutely, I think it is about that time. I'm just going to turn this down just a smidge. Let me know if the music's too loud at any point. Of course, I could drop it down a little bit. Hey, that's me. Hey. I'm just having fun. You know how us podcast hosts do, All right. All right, so topics for today on the podcast. We're going to talk AT&T and DirecTV. Looks like they may be trying to move on from it. Man, what a waste of money. We'll talk about that topic quickly. I'll go through like the little bit of detail that we do know. What's the most likely scenario, how it's going to play out, stuff like that. We'll talk a little bit about the up-and-coming iPhones, some rumors, and whatever else is going on is, starting to kind of swirl in multiple outlets, and they're starting to kind of line things up a little bit. So when stories start to line up from multiple sources, that's when you know that things are probably coming together for us. So big shout out to Garen. Good to have you. Thanks for stopping by. Finney, Kathy, Troy, Ricky, Jose, Cesar, Robert, the homie Mike West, Mod Squad, hashtag Mod Squad, Big Pete, what up? The Bearded Dragon himself. Let me know if my video is good. Let me know if my sound is good. Appreciate you very much. Anything that you want to know when it comes to wireless network technologies, we got it for you here. SMT YouTube channel. And there's other ways to get involved with the channel as well. We've got all the links that you see down here in the description box. So all the community links are there. The only thing that's not mentioned down here is the audio-only podcast, which we're on all the, most major podcast platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Google. We're also on Breaker, Pocket Cast. We're on all of them. Spotify, Anchor, the whole nine. Thanks, Matt Dub. Appreciate you. Jamie, what is up, my dude? William, Kimon, my brother, Austin. Cesar, thanks for the super chat. How fast is Spectrum Mobile 5G millimeter wave? It's going to be as fast as Verizon's is, because that's what it is. So it's fast. It is fast. Video is small? Good. You don't need to see my ugly grill. Just got to hear what I got to say. Ernest, still, thank you. Tex Marine, what's going on? Rainy Houston, huh? It's rainy here, too, in the CLE. So, I feel you. All right, so we got the AT&T and DirecTV story. That should be interesting. We got the Apple iPhone news. And then a little bit about T-Mobile. There's actually two things. One thing I think is a bigger deal than the other, and I'll kind of give you a cherry on top to tease Neville, Ray, and T-Mobile. So, so yeah, let's do this thing, huh? Now, what I will be doing is I will be recording the audio-only version of this. So, you know, I'll just let you know that if you guys are interested in the audio-only podcast, that's what we do with these things. So. Gene, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here, by the way. You the best, man. All right. So story number 1 in today's podcast. Let's start with the AT&T news. All right, so for most of you that have been following the productions of the channel or the podcast or however you've been, watching us for the most part, AT&T's been in debt for a long time, but they're a company that's so successful and so big and has so much revenue, many, several revenue streams. They're not just like a national company either. They're an international company. So money's not really an issue. Even when they're in debt, they're still making money, which is crazy. So AT&T is actually probably looking to move on from some of their assets, and I think they're wise to do so, in my personal opinion. All right. I personally think that at times AT&T probably bites off more than it could chew. Personally, just my opinion, but they always find a way to make it work, and they always find a way to make money. So, Big Blue is looking to probably move on from DirecTV, a company that they just recently purchased. Whether you want to define it as a merger or an acquisition, things just haven't really panned out. So Big Blue is looking to private equity bidders, as it appears that satellite TV and pay TV have gone the way of the dodo bird and the dinosaurs, and they're basically going extinct. It's been all about streaming services recently. Cesar, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you very much. He says, I got rid of my Sprint and T-Mobile account now with Spectrum Mobile. Moving to the Verizon side, I see. Nice. Let's talk more about that at the end of the podcast. That's an interesting thing. I think a lot of people are able to save money going with MVNOs. That's one of them. Thank you for the super chat. So, being that pay TV and satellite TV are kind of, being taken out to pasture in ways, everything's become streaming. Most people have gone towards like Netflix and Hulu and different combinations of live TV through streaming. The investment, quote-unquote investment, into DirecTV in the form of that merger acquisition that was made in 2015 by AT&T has really just not panned out at all. It was a horrible purchase, and this is just one of the things that probably led to the reason why Randall Stevenson is gone as the CEO of AT&T, and now we have John Stankey. Now, back in 2015, the agreement to purchase DirecTV, I think, was like $49 or $50 billion. So, unfortunately, this has put AT&T even deeper into the hole, which took it one step further when they also acquired Time Warner. So, literally $150 billion in debt over the course of 2 transactions, and the DirecTV one just hasn't worked out. It just hasn't. No way you can cut it, slice it, or twist it. It's been a bad purchase for them. So it's been nothing but consumer losses. They haven't really been adding customers. For the most part, you would just describe it as subscriber losses every quarter when they report. According to analysts and some of those in the know on the marketing side, Apollo Global Management and Platinum Equity are believed to be in talks with AT&T currently, and they have been in the past. So those links to those two companies are probably still there from before. And I don't know. It appears to kind of be in the early bidding stages. If they're looking at these equity bidders, no deals are imminent. There's nothing really brewing here. They're not like remotely close on any terms or agreements with any companies. But, it could be a situation where there's proposals and bids, and maybe there's joint proposals and things like that. So, big shout out to MS. Thank you for the super chat, bud. Appreciate you. I kind of think that based on some rumor and speculation, and then also Charlie Ergen kind of chiming in a few times on this topic, the twist here is that I think maybe Charlie Ergen, who has been on record multiple times stating that he wants a deal with Dish and DirecTV, and he says essentially it's imminent, like it's got to happen. So saying that it's like a destined situation, right? I'm not sure why he's so hell-bent on this deal, why he wants DirecTV so badly, but I'm sure at the right price, he's game for that purchase. It appears like he really is. So, I don't know. The issue with Dish in this type of transaction is the fact that they're both satellite TV providers, which, in my book, qualifies as antitrust. So, I don't know what Dish is thinking, or Charlie Ergen for that matter. You know that the regulatory bodies are going to make this difficult. They're probably not going to want to allow it. But the one thing that does work in the favor of Dish is the fact that the pay TV market has really become marginalized. It really has. And satellite TV is also a shrinking marketplace. So they might look at that and consider that, and if that's the argument, they might kind of fall for that. And because the marketplace has gotten smaller and there's less competitors, they might go the other way and say, well, we've already lost people who have gone out of business, and, we can't afford to lose any more consumer options. So, I mean, it could backfire. It could go that way. We don't know. But in the principle of the matter, losing a competitor, consolidation of businesses is always bad for business, for the consumer. So regardless, I don't see AT&T getting back what they paid for DirecTV, seeing that they purchased DirecTV for about $50 billion. I don't know. I don't think they're going to get back that $50 billion. I think it could be as bad when you think about like the floor of the deal, like how much would AT&T get for DirecTV. I could see it being as low as like 9 or 10 billion. And I really don't see the ceiling being very high. I could see the ceiling of the deal maybe being something like 19 or 20 billion. And Charlie Ergen's probably not going to want to pay that ceiling. He's probably more around that $5 billion range, if you ask me. So, Charlie's tough, and he's not going to want to pay a premium for it. And AT&T is not going to want to take too bad a loss. I mean, if you bought something for $50 billion, you really don't want to sell it for $10 billion. I mean, that's a horrible loss. They probably understand that they're going to take a loss, but they're probably looking to get something like 20 or 25 billion. They probably won't get it. AT&T just really needs to focus on what makes them money. And there's a few things that are pretty profitable for them. So one of those things is wireless. They are really doing well there. The national network is really doing great. Their AT&T TV product seems to be a focus for them. The HBO product is really good. People seem to like that service. They've got profitable components of the Time Warner deal, so that could happen to continue to be successful in moving forward. They're probably going to want to eliminate Uverse. They're probably going to want to, come off of the DirecTV piece and focus on bringing the investment back into the company, reducing their debt load, try to shed some of the, reduce the fat. And I mean, their debt is valued over $150 billion. And during a pandemic, that's definitely not going to help. So they're probably going to look to cut their losses and move on from DirecTV and try to trim some of the fat and reduce the debt. So whatever they can get for those assets, they'll probably do. So like I said, I don't know where that takes AT&T. I don't know what the chances are of them making the deal. I don't know what it'll sell for. This is all kind of early in the stages, but I mean, that's what we know now, and that's what seems to make the most sense. So we'll be following that story more in the future. If I get any news, I will definitely update. And we are rooting for AT&T to invest in their wireless company, the wireless side, and make their network better for the sake of wireless users. Big shout out to Chucky Riggs. Appreciate the super chat. They allowed both satellite radio companies. That's true. But I don't know. I mean, I could make an argument that under this administration, it's probably more likely that a deal gets done between Dish and DirecTV, but maybe under a Democratic administration, that might not be the case. So, Mikey Tech Reviews, thanks for your super chat. Received the notification on the live streaming. Look, I don't know what's going on with YouTube notifications. I don't know what to say. It's hard to make sense out of it. But what I can tell you is if you're not getting the YouTube notifications, either they're coming in late or you're not getting them at all, then follow me on Twitter, and then I tweet out anytime I do go live. So, that'll be another way to get notified. So, make sure you do that. What's up, Nathan? What's going on, buddy? Yeah, the satellite radio situation, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they do, right? Maybe they do let them merge. We'll have to wait and see. We'll see how it plays out. All right, let's take a look at this next story, shall we? Got rid of Metro, trying out AT&T prepaid. Nice, Mikey. I think you're going to like the AT&T prepaid a little bit better. The local leprechaun shirt? Yeah, Pete likes this shirt too. Their shawarma is not very good though, Pete, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's go to this next story, shall we? All right, so this next story is out of the Apple camp. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because rumors and speculation have been just off the hook, completely off the chain. So pricing, processors, modems, camera systems, the charging bricks. I mean, you imagine, that all the rumors and things are going on with the iPhone because we're getting so close to the release. So we're basically done with August. We're about to turn the corner on September. So that puts us about a month and a half from a release or a launch for the new iPhones. The iPhone 12, this generation of iPhone should actually see a really nice evolution of cellular technology. They're definitely moving away from the Intel chips, well, I should say the Intel modem that's in the chip, towards a Qualcomm-based modem in their chips for the pros. Now, the regular 12, however many models it is, it looks like it's going to be 2. And Cesar, thanks for your super chat. Appreciate you, man. I don't know how I missed that, actually. How did I miss your super chat, man? I'm sorry about that. Thought I got it. Unless the Streamlabs missed it, so I do apologize for that. But thank you, man. It looks like 4 models just keeps popping up. So I think we're probably going to see 4 iPhones this year. 4 different versions of the iPhone 12. The entry-level iPhone 12, which will be the regular one, we're hearing 5.4-inch display. Then we're going to have a 12 Max, which is going to have a larger 6.1-inch display, I guess. Or 6.2-inch display, something like that. Speculation or rumor, we won't know until it comes out because Apple will never say, yeah, that's what's happening, or yeah, those rumors are true. They won't confirm that. So those will be the 2 more affordable versions of the iPhone 12. Then we'll have the 12 Pro, and we'll assume the 12 Pro Max. It's looking like the 12 and the 12 Max are going to be launching in October, and then the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max are launching in November. And the issue there is the supply of the parts, the components. So it looks like it could be a display reason. The iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max are going to have specialized refresh rates. It looks like they'll be upgraded, so that's cool, right? Another thing that we might see is that the situation could be that the modem isn't ready. At least maybe the testing is not done, or whatever else could be going on. Could be, clearing it for mass production. I don't know. Could be a number of different things. So we'll have to wait and see what exactly is the holdup, but, that's probably the situation. All right, so pricing is really where I think a lot of people are going to look and say, well, if I'm going to buy an iPhone 12, how much do I want to spend? What's the right price for me, and what's too much? So in my opinion, just my own personal opinion, I think the pricing is going to follow this blueprint. I think the iPhone 12 is going to come in at $699. I think they're going to keep it at that range. I think they're going to keep it so it's affordable. Anybody who's in an iPhone 8, 8 Plus, and even a 10 might want to upgrade. They might want to go to a 12. If somebody has a 10S, I don't know if they want to move to a 12. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It just kind of depends what the 12 brings to the table. Like if the 12 has an OLED panel, it might be worth it because the new chipset is going to be very powerful. The new camera system should probably be a good upgrade for somebody coming out of a 10S. Probably. Right? So we'll see. But $699 seems like where they'll fall with that pricing. The 12 Max, which will just be a bigger version of the 12, probably coming in with like a 6.2 inch display or something like that. That one's probably going to come in about $100 more. So let's say $699. Or excuse me, $799. Now, storage-wise, I'm really hoping 128 gigs is standard. 64 gigs was cool 2 years ago. 3 years ago, it is not cool now. 128's got to be entry level. And a nice upgrade would be like 256, and then of course 512 is, I mean, that's where we want to be, right? Because they're not giving you removable storage, right? They're not giving you an SD card slot or anything. So, you know, files are large. People are doing a lot with video, high definition, high resolution video. So the extra storage is worthy. Now, could I see the iPhone 12 coming in at $749? Sure. Apple could do that. I doubt it. I think they'll stay at $699. Could I see the 12 Max going up to $849? Possibly, but I don't think so. I think the sweet spot for that bigger entry-level phone, $799, is probably good. They'll sell both of those phones at that price point. Now, when we get to the 12 Pro, it's going to be a better phone. It's going to have higher-end specifications. It'll be more capable of unique features and, you know, kicking it up a notch. So you'll probably have an extra camera, right? A unique camera system, more optical image stabilization, things like that. I also think you'll have a better display. I also think you'll have the better modem, cellular modem. So the Pro and then the Pro Max are probably going to have the Qualcomm X60 modem, which we're really hoping for. I personally think, this is just my personal opinion, I think the 12 Pro is going to come in at $1099. I could be completely wrong. I'm not even predicting it's going to be $1099, but it just seems like that would be the right price for Apple based on the 5G upgrade. All four of these phones are supposed to be 5G compatible, so that will future-proof them for the next couple of years. They'll do NSA, which is non-standalone 5G, which is the 5G we have now. They'll do SA, which is standalone 5G, which is what we'll start seeing in 2021. It'll do all the bands like N2, N4, N66, N41, N71, you know, the CBRS piece, the C-band that's up and coming, hopefully. We'll see if they put that all in there. But the thing about the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max, and this is something I'm interested to see, the 12 Pro should come in at $1099 based on my calculations of the bill of materials. That would mean that the Pro Max is probably going to sell for $1199. Those would be $100 price bumps compared to last year with the iPhone 11s. Right, so the 11 Pro, the 11 Pro Max, you know, they're probably going to see a $100 price bump. If they somehow kept the phones at the same price, Apple wins Smartphone Manufacturer of the Year. Let me explain why Apple would win Smartphone Manufacturer of the Year. They dropped an iPhone SE for $399 with all upgraded specs. They just got the old design language of the old phones, like the 8 and the 8 Plus and stuff like that. But they came in at $399 for a brand new iPhone. Then, to take it one step further, if they keep the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max at last year's 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max pricing, that is amazing. And especially if they keep the 12 and the 12 Max around that $699 to $799 range. Because what Samsung did was Samsung gouged. Samsung told the consumer to sit on it. We're going to sell you a cheap Note for $1,000. We're going to sell you the real Note for $1,300. We're going to sell you the entry-level Galaxy S20 for $1,000. We're going to sell you the Plus for an additional $100 or $200 depending on your storage. And then we're going to sell you the Max, or not the Max, it would be the Ultra for $1,400. Samsung is the king of price hikes, not Apple. You remember when Apple was the one that was hurting consumers and overcharging and price gouging and all that crazy stuff? Now it's Samsung. I'm going to make a totally different podcast episode. I'm probably going to invite Technoid, Carlos S. Tech. I'll probably also invite Tito to talk about Samsung and Apple and how they're moving in totally different directions. Now, is Apple perfect? No. Are they also expensive? Yes. But at least the phones are maintaining their price. Right? So, and we'll know for sure once these phones come out where they're going with the direction of their pricing. So, that's just kind of where I'm at there. I mean, I'm hearing all AMOLED panels on these phones. All are going to have notches. The Pro should have an upgraded camera system with extra sensors. They're possibly all going to be tri-band for 5G, which means low band, mid band, and millimeter wave 5G. If that's the case, then Apple's amazing. And it won't have any, jacked up firmware, and it won't have any crazy bloatware. So that's really the phone to buy the rest of the year. No charging brick is rumored in the box. No headphones rumored in the box. Cost cuts, to make the battery board cheaper and thinner. They're trying to help with the, cost cutting in the manufacturing process. But hey, if the phone is still up to standard and it still performs and they're able to keep the pricing and add all that 5G, it's a small miracle in my opinion. I just want to go back to a super chat. Chucky Riggs with the super chat. He said, Apple needs to bring manufacturing to the U.S. You know what, Chucky? For the economy, that's great. But for Apple's business, not great. They really don't want to do that. People want insurance. People want health care. You know what, Corpy? I think the standard 12s aren't going to use Qualcomm modems. I think they're going to use Intel modems, aka Apple modems. That's why I think they have that staggered release. I think we're going to see the 12 and the 12 Max with in-house chips, with Intel chips. They'll be ready in October. But I can't advise those modems, though. The Intel modems are horrible. I don't enjoy using my iPhone because of the cellular connectivity, honestly. So I don't advise it. I would only recommend the Pro this year and the Pro Max. Unless they all get, the Qualcomm modems. Then I'd say all four are game. Smoking Choking, thank you for the $10 super chat. Money Cash Phones. You ain't lying, bro. Thanks for the super chat. They are pricey, man. I mean, if I'm looking at a smartphone that costs over $1,000 right now, that sucker better last like 5 years. Because I ain't getting rid of that thing. And you definitely want to make sure that it's as future-proof as it could be. Make sure it's got all the bells and the whistles, all the features, cellular connectivity. You want to get the best thing you can for that money. Gene, thanks for the super chat, brother. Appreciate you, man. No comments, no questions, just a donation. Appreciate it very much. Cesar with the super chat as well. Thank you. He said, does the Note 20 Ultra support C-band and CBRS? Unfortunately, no to the C-band. Yes to the CBRS, though. The C-band position right now is kind of interesting. We think that the Moto Edge Plus has the C-band capability, but we can't confirm it because the spectrum's not on for us to test. So, kind of sort of speculation. We feel confident that it is, but, we'll see. Big shout out to Alcaso Tech, one of the more solid creators on the YouTube space. Anything, credit cards, smartphones, iPhone, Android, carriers, prepaid, postpaid. He covers it all. So do check out Alcaso Tech. Thanks for the super chat, bro. You all ready? Yeah. You know what, Technoid? I'm hearing the same thing. I'm hearing that the 12 and the 12 Max will be sub 6 gigahertz only for 5G. So that being said, you know, your story lines up with mine. That's what we're hearing. That's what you're hearing. Maybe there's some truth to it. So Gene Toe says people want insurance and healthcare. How greedy are people? Apparently at Foxconn, they don't get that stuff. Oh, man. Mike West says, I'm satisfied with my iPhone 11 Pro Max on Verizon. That's a nice little setup right there, man. Can't lie. What's up, Todd? Yeah, that's right. RFK Tech Q&A. Yeah, no support for the C-band just yet. Pete says the iPhone is loaded with bloatware, Siri, stocks. I don't know, man. I guess it depends how you define bloatware then. I don't know. Oh, nice, Carlos. Nice. Carlos, are you going to live stream after me? I'm not going to be on too much longer, maybe another 15 minutes. So if you want to do the camera thing, you want to do that, I'd be more than game for that. What's up, Trollboy Gaming? What is up? Oh, dude, Technoid, you ain't lying. So apparently sub 6 gigahertz accessibility on a phone cost manufacturers an additional $75 to $85. And millimeter wave costs an additional $125 to $135, which is crazy. So essentially, like $200 out of nowhere just to make a phone tri-band 5G compatible, right? All right, Pete. Third-party bloatware. Apple puts their Apple bloatware on it, but there's no carrier bloatware on it, right? And stuff like that. No Facebook, none of that nonsense. You know what, Corpy? I do too, man. I want the X60 and the base iPhone too, but I don't see it going there. I really don't. All right, let's go to this next story, shall we? Beat this iPhone thing down a little bit. All right. This next story is out of the T-Mobile camp. T-Mobile has been a bad boy. A bad company, I guess. T-Mobile is being formally advised to eliminate their claims of their 5G reliability. Now look, anytime a company makes claims, that's all part of their marketing. How they advertise their company, how they advertise their services, their products, whatever the case may be. It's all marketing. So if they say we're the best, we're the fastest, we're the most, we're the nicest, we're the whatever, right? We're the jolliest, whatever the claim is. Claims should always be taken with a grain of salt, unless there is some form of scientific evidence, some form of tested proof that is repeatable, accurate, peer-reviewed, you know, all those things that are scientific. Outside of that, claims are just claims. Like, I could say that I'm the highest high jumper in the world, and it's a claim unless I can prove it over and over again, right? So what's happening here is T-Mobile's claim of the best 5G reliability, or the most 5G reliability. I don't know how you quantify that. So the most reliable 5G. The Magenta carrier claims that their superior coverage means they have superior reliability. The NAD, I think it's National Advertising Division, it's part of the Better Business Bureau. They're not with this claim. They don't see it T-Mobile's way. So basically what they're saying is you may have the most 5G coverage, you may have the most available 5G, but you can't say that you have the most or the best 5G reliability. So the NAD is telling T-Mobile, cut it out. Stop advertising with that terminology and that wording. All other T-Mobile claims are okay. So they're not arguing anything about their claims that their 5G is faster than their 4G LTE. They're good with that. They're not mad that T-Mobile says that we have more coverage in 5G than other carriers have in 5G. The NAD is cool with it. All right, so that's not the issue. The issue is that somehow, some way, T-Mobile is trying to say, we have the most coverage in 5G, therefore we have the most reliable 5G. The NAD is saying that's not necessarily true. So they're just telling them, look, we want you to stop this. We are recommending that you discontinue this claim. So when you make your commercials, when you make your advertisements, when you're putting up your banners, when you're putting up your signage, don't do this anymore. They did the same thing with the AT&T claim of 5GE. They said, hey, stop calling this stuff 5G. It's not. They told Verizon, cut it out with the national 5G talk. It's not. So AT&T stopped advertising it. Verizon stopped advertising it, and they changed their moniker to 5G Built Right. And it looks like T-Mobile's going to fight this, and they don't want to change anything. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if T-Mobile complies. We'll see if they make any moves to respond to this. I don't know if they will or they won't. I don't know. I don't even know if it really matters, honestly. So anyways, it looks like Verizon snitched. This is crazy. I can't believe these carriers, man. This is nuts. Apparently, Verizon must be butthurt about what happened with their claim and the NAD telling them to cut it out. I think that Verizon basically went over to the NAD and said, hey, you told us to change our claims. You need to tell T-Mobile to change their claims. So I think Verizon kind of snitched here. Kind of. Which is funny. They brought this to the NAD's attention. And then the NAD, being a Better Business Bureau branch. Better Business Bureau branch. Wow. They sent notifications, and they let T-Mobile know, hey, we want you to change it. All right? We don't want you to claim this part. The other stuff can stay. So T-Mobile's going to appeal. They don't like this. They want to say whatever that claim is. 5G coverage, the most 5G availability means 5G reliability. Which, by the way, if you're asking me, in my opinion, 5G availability and 5G coverage does not mean 5G reliability. Absolutely not. They are not one and the same. I actually agree with the NAD. I think the NAD is correct. But I wanted to make sure that I prefaced my explanation of the situation by saying that marketing is just marketing. It's just advertising. They don't have to be accurate, right? They're going to just make their claims and try to sell their product. So, to be honest with you, as a user of the T-Mobile network, and I've tested their 5G, it's not very reliable in my opinion. It's reliable in the fact that it's low band, so therefore it connects well when it's within reasonable distance. But the configuration is poor in my opinion. I've had trouble connecting to it at times. It kind of depends on the distance from the tower. Sometimes there are towers that tell me that band 71 is there, but it's not, because it's a signal that's being beamed from a further away tower, which is weird. So I could tell you right now, my experience, multiple others within the community, the T-Mobile 5G claims are well documented. The commercials are everywhere. We know that they exist. We know how they're doing this. But they're overstated. And the NAD is, making a thing out of this, and they're telling T-Mobile to cut it out. Because coverage and reliability are two different things, which they are. And to be honest with you, if you're using low band for 5G, it should be reliable. But hey, that's that story. And, I didn't want to spend too much time on it, but maybe you've seen that article floating around from somewhere, and stuff like that. That is the case. All right, so I did get some super chats while I was kind of going on that topic. So GTR35, thank you for your super chat. He said, he or she, I'm not sure, went back to iOS after last using an iPhone 3GS. Oxygen OS on the McLaren 5G was so buggy that I got an iPhone SE. No regrets, not going back to Android. People love iOS. They really do. And then some people hate it. You know, Tim hates iOS. I know people that hate iOS, but some people love it, and they always get updated. These iPhones have a lot of support. You know, they're going to continue to get the security patches, the bug fixes, you know, the hardware supported for a long time. So I can't blame you. I didn't know that Oxygen OS on the McLaren 5G was a problem. I think the problem's actually in the 5G. And from what I understand, the McLaren runs better on other carriers than T-Mobile. It doesn't get as hot. It gets better battery life. Maybe it's the signal that you're getting with that 5G. It's killing your experience. It's possible. Magenta speed testing. Thank you for your super chat. Maybe the first iPhone I consider in a long while. Same here. First time I've been excited about an iPhone ever. Because, you know, they just never did it for me. But with talks of the Qualcomm modem in there, my ears are perked up, and I'm willing to listen at least. Absolutely. MT Houston, Texas. What is up, my dude? Thank you for the super chat, man. It's been a while. I haven't seen you, man. I hope, you know, this podcast finds you well and everything is cool, bro. Thank you for supporting me. Appreciate you. You've always been so kind and generous. And thank you for being here as well. All right, last little thing, okay? And this is kind of a bonus. All right, so last little story here, and this one will get you laughing. Hold on one second, guys. I just got to pull up this audio input. And all right, I think you guys should be able to hear me now. Okay, so in this image, you see the picture of a dragster. You see the picture of a sports car. And then you see a picture of a truck. Now, what Neville Ray and... I don't even know if it's Neville Ray. I really don't think so. I really think this is just his marketing and PR team. And that truck at the bottom is supposed to be the analogous symbol of low band. You notice that it says less than 1 gigahertz. That's describing the frequency of the spectrum. So that's 600 megahertz, 700 megahertz, you know, whatever. Right? Sub 1 gigahertz. It's a truck. Speedy. Great for long trips and travels where others can't. I get the analogy. All right? You see how it's like longer wavelengths? Low frequencies, longer wavelengths. All right? Travels farther. Great. Above that, you have the midband, which is the sports car. It's like the picture of like a Lexus or a Beamer or something, right? 1 to 6 gigahertz. That's midband. So we're talking about 2.5 gigahertz, 2.1, 1.9, 2.3. You know, the midbands, all right? Calling that the sports car. Super fast, reliable, and good around town. Then he has the dragster, the formula car. Ridiculous speeds, but can't travel long distance or turn corners. That's wrong. That's T-Mobile's millimeter wave, because Verizon's millimeter wave can do all of those things. T-Mobile's millimeter wave can do about a half a block to a block. Verizon's millimeter wave can do over 2 blocks. Verizon's millimeter wave can work inside of buildings and can work and penetrate through glass. T-Mobile's can't. So their millimeter wave, which is, at frequencies greater than 20 gigahertz or whatever, I've tested it. T-Mobile's millimeter wave, that is exactly how it behaves. It's not as fast as Verizon's. It definitely doesn't have the propagation. They're not as far into the technologies as Verizon is. This diagram is 100% accurate when it comes to the speed description of these different types of spectrum assets. Low band travels where others can't. Totally agree. Sports car, reliable and good around town. That's pretty good. The millimeter wave, ridiculous speeds, but can't travel long distances. For the most part, that's true. I have to say this about Neville Ray and the team over at T-Mobile. When I see these things, and I see that layer cake example, 5G should be treated like a layer cake, low band, mid band, millimeter wave, I feel like an idiot. I feel like I'm 5 years old and I don't understand anything. I feel like I'm being, talked down to. Like I can't understand, spectrum, and I can't understand frequencies. Like I have a formal science education. I know the basics of physics. You don't have to have a degree in physics, just the basics. Low frequencies travel farther because they have long wavelengths. Higher frequencies have shorter wavelengths. Yeah, they're wider channels and wider band, so they have great throughput and awesome bandwidth. But I'm just saying, why does it have to be like this? It must be marketing that's designed for people that don't know anything about wireless. So it's not designed for somebody, for me, but, hey, I guess it's part of their marketing. I just thought I'd share it with you. That's from Neville Ray and the team over at T-Mobile. So this concludes the audio-only version of the podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. And all my attention on the YouTube side. Yeah, I'm back. Let's take a look at the, got a couple of super chats here. All right, Chucky, thank you for the super chat. He said T-Mobile is a go-kart. That was like a Mario Kart thing, right? Like Luigi and Mario and Princess and Toad and all that stuff. Oh, man, thanks for the super chat. Jinto said, I'd rather have a freaking 18-wheeler. Goes far and carries a lot of data. See, but you're changing the analogy. He's using it to describe speed. But, Jinto, I agree with you. Carries a lot of data, right? Because it could haul. But in actuality, millimeter wave's the one that carries a lot of data. Or it carries it faster, we should say. Right? So, yeah, that's probably more accurate. Hey, Gene, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. Yeah, Kathy, there's a UFO floating around there. It's crazy. I know. Lavendi, I totally agree. I've tested T-Mobile excessively in the CLE. I'm seeing band 71 on probably 20 to 30% of the sites in the city. I think they acquired 600 megahertz in 2016. So it's been 4 years. I know you said it's been about 5, so give or take a year. They have to get more of it out there. And that's a product of low capex. They have to spend more money. Richard said, I'm triggered. I drive an 18-wheeler. Appreciate you, Richard. Thank you, man. Thanks for your services. We're very thankful for all that you do in shipments across the nation. Thank you. No, I agree. Midband should be nationwide. Of course. Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree. Asia is all midband. I think Japan's the only country that's going to do anything with millimeter wave within the next year. So, the United States and Japan. And, but, I mean, it's great potential, right? Like, millimeter wave's super fast, Millimeter wave has amazing channel width. It's pretty awesome in that way, but it has its limitations. It's not It's not a perfect technology. It will get better. It will get better. The propagation will get better. The connectivity will get better. Leave it up to Verizon to figure that out for sure. Midband should be focused on tremendously, but we don't have enough midband yet. We need these spectrum auctions to get going, right? We just had CBRS wrap up. C-band is next. So we've got 3.5 that's going to be deployed within a year. We've got 3.7, which will be deployed within like 16 to 18 months. And then there's even another CBRS spectrum auction, which I think will be like 3.4 gigahertz. And that'll be another 100 megahertz getting, so we're going to have, like 400 megahertz of spectrum deployed over the next year? 450 maybe? Nathan, not true. I test millimeter wave all the time. It does not kill the battery fastest. That's not true. I have tested it. I can confirm it does not. The brother Seova's in the house. What is up, my dude? Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, Richard. Yes, sir. You were a Sprint customer, and now you are a T-Mobile customer. That is correct. And I hope they're taking care of you. I hope they're, making it easy on your transition over to the new company. Hopefully you get to keep your plan. Hopefully everything's cool with your phone. I hope your service hasn't gotten worse. I hope it's gotten better. So, but do let me know, if that's the case. I'd love to know. Austin Spiller said, any word when or if AT&T will launch nationwide DSS, in particular for midband? So, it's going to be happening in specific markets. It's going to be happening in phase rollouts. But there will be mid-band DSS launched very soon. Do we see it in Q4? Do we see it in Q1? I think at some point between now and January, mid-band DSS is a go at AT&T. I think we will see that. And who knows, maybe sooner. I will definitely let you guys know when that does happen, though. Philip, that's true. Verizon has always been premium. It always has been more expensive. They've made you pay for the reliability. They made you pay for that, elite level network access. Very, very true. Yeah, Kimon, that switching is a nightmare. It kills the battery. That's why I think if 5G was more abundant and more ubiquitous, it'd probably be less of an issue. All right, so... Yeah, Richard, the S20 Ultra, the S20 Plus, or the S20, that's about as future-proof a phone that you can get in 2020. So, yeah, you should be good for a couple of years. The S22 would probably be a good upgrade for you. Maybe you don't need to upgrade next year, but maybe after a couple of years. Orlando in the moment, getting 100 down, 100 up. I've heard, or 150. It's pretty good. King Cyrus said, would you say that AT&T is as good as Verizon? Or no comparison? It's pretty close, dude. In some ways, King Cyrus, AT&T is better than Verizon. I'd say they have better capacity. I'd say that they offer more in terms of value. They're a little bit cheaper, a little bit more affordable. So that you might save like $5 or $10 a line by going with AT&T. You might get more hotspot. You might get a higher DPRIO. Right? And the HBO Max product is pretty nice. Verizon does have a nice thing with Hulu, ESPN Plus, and Disney, and Apple Music. So, they each have their strengths. And but yeah, I would not sleep on AT&T. It's a pretty nice operation they got going for wireless. Tex Marine said, I won't touch a 5G phone until at least next spring. Yeah, well, when the mid-range 5G phones are $300. And the flagships dip below 1,000, I think we'll start to really see something good there. I don't know. We'll see what 2021 brings. We're right around the corner. Kazi, do you think AT&T will surpass Verizon in coverage one day, or will it stay a bit less than on par? I think AT&T is closing the gap as we speak, and I think they might be up to par with Verizon within another couple of years. I really do. I think it's going to be really close. That Band 14 FirstNet contract is really going to change things for AT&T. I really do believe that. Chucky Riggs, I'm not surprised, man. T-Mobile's capacity is really being tested with those Sprint customers on there. So hopefully that 2.5 gigahertz gets rolled out ASAP. X60 modem is a must for 5G for next year. Totally agree. Philip, phones have been expensive. They're just getting more expensive, man. Crazy, right? My daily side said I'll never buy a phone that costs $1K for a device. Man, it is a steep price to ask. Yeah. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. 5G will have data caps for other countries in the world. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for being here. Do me a quick solid. Before you get to going, I would just like to say thank you to all who came in and showed love to the SMT YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this podcast, all my videos. You guys are the best community on YouTube. I say it all the time. Thank you for being a part of the SMT Nation, and thank you for supporting me. If you want to help out the channel, there's different ways you could do it. Like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it to your socials. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever social media you got, share it there. Friends and family, however you do it. Thank you so much in advance for that. Check out the links that are in the description box. There's other ways to get, to get involved with the community. Thank you for all that super chatted tonight or offered PayPal donations or whatever else you did. Thank you in advance for that. And let's do some hashtags, shall we? If you watch this in the live, hashtag 2LiveCrew. If you watch this on recording, hashtag ReplayCrew. If you watch this while you were eating, hashtag Ravioli Gang. And if you got a blue wrench and you held it down and you moderated for me, hashtag Mod Squad. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for that. If it is your first time here, maybe you were recommended by YouTube or you just popped in or you've been lurking and you haven't taken the plunge, hit that subscribe button. What is you waiting for? Activate the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for being here, guys and gals. You are all the best. Thank you for supporting the SMT Podcast and the SMT YouTube channel. I hope to see you all very soon. Have an excellent weekend. Be safe. Be careful. Get money. Stay healthy. And I wish you all nothing but wealth and health. Take it easy, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Yeah.